Hello, everyone. My name is D. Sideman, and this is my colleague, Jonathan Sela. We're with You Now, and we're going to introduce to you today Props by You Now, our new project. Props is a decentralized ecosystem for video applications. We are mobile video guys. Basically, practically invented mobile live streaming in the United States. As you can see, it has become a big category, and we're excited to own a significant mind share of the category. We have today over 40 million registered users. Our users spend about 50 minutes per day on the platform, and it's nice to see also brands and media companies who are engaging with their users through participatory media, allowing consumers to interact with the brand and with the content. And it's this kind of programming that we're going to see more and more, and we're going to talk about today. This very high engagement also translates into a vibrant virtual economy where consumers buy into a virtual currency and creators earn on the platform. In 2014, we were the first to marry microtransactions with a mobile video platform. Today, we're taking this economy, we're taking our millions of users, our community, and our technology, and we're leveraging it with an additional layer of blockchain and cryptocurrency for a much bigger vision and a much bigger opportunity, and that is to decentralize the digital media ecosystem. And so we're going to talk about props, and I'm going to hand it to Jonathan.
Thanks. So Props is a decentralized digital media ecosystem. And digital media today is a highly centralized space controlled by just a couple companies. And there's two problems with that I want to talk about. The first problem is around the distribution of value. The distribution of content. And that's highly centralized today. A small group of people decides what we get to see and how much of it we get to see. Just an example from a couple of weeks ago, we saw YouTube taking down hundreds of thousands of hours of content documenting the war in Syria, effectively impacting the collective memory of history. The second problem that I want to talk about is around the disproportionate allocation of value in digital media. In digital media, we have a couple of companies who've generated hundreds of billions of dollars in enterprise value through their networks. But the users and the curators and the creators and the developers building extensions on those networks have only seen a tiny fraction of that value, a tiny fraction of the value created by the network that they comprise. With Props, we're launching a platform that is designed to fundamentally change that. By tokenizing the digital media economy and decentralizing it, we're able to proportionally and equitably reward the different participants in this ecosystem. So what exactly does that mean? Let's talk about Snapchat, for example. Snapchat IPO'd for almost $25 billion earlier this year, but the creators, the influencers who've been a huge part in the success of Snapchat have seen zero financial return from that IPO. Let's take a media company producing high-quality content, and effectively they're bound to distribute that content on the leading digital media networks today. Their margins are squeezed, and their ability to control the distribution of their own content is limited. What we're seeing with the tokenized economy is the ability for these people to become real partners in the network. So whether you're a user, a content curator, a content creator, an influencer, a media company, and as well as the founders and the crypto enthusiasts that help jumpstart this network, you're all able to earn in token in an algorithmic way that gives you your fair piece of the content that is generated on this network. And what that does is that it aligns the long-term incentives of everybody in this network, And what it also does is that it incentivizes developers to build more and more applications in this network, eventually resulting in a digital media ecosystem that is not controlled by a single entity in terms of both distribution of content as well as the economic value that is generated by it. Now, we come from mobile video. You heard Adi introducing YouNow and the incredible community that it has. And this project as well is going to be aimed at the mainstream users. So we're going to introduce millions of people to a cryptocurrency, but we're going to do it in a way that obfuscates the crypto economic layer and lets them enjoy a user experience that is on par with what they're seeing today in the market, and in fact introduces a whole new type of user experience that we're going to demo in just 3 minutes. So imagine users that are able to hop on, whether they know nothing about cryptocurrency or whether they're crypto enthusiasts, they can jump on this platform and start engaging and start consuming content, creating content, and engaging. Over time, as they create engagement, that engagement is, as we just discussed, worth tokens, the tokens that run this network. And they receive compensation in tokens, rewards in tokens, straight to their phone with a push notification that leads them in a nice and easy way into a mobile wallet that is very user-friendly. So this is effectively going to be the first time where generating media engagement is going to be the equivalent of mining cryptocurrency. Now, this has been tried before in the crypto community in a bunch of ways with beautiful ideas that follow similar notions, but it has never been tried and it's never been implemented in a product that is aimed towards the mainstream and on a community that is already transacting in a digital economy that provides similar functionality. Users are spending money on a digital currency and creators are earning that way. We're going to take that economy as is in that regard and provide an experience that's going to take this to the masses. The token we're launching, Props, is going to be available from day one for usage. It's going to have a bunch of functionalities associated with it. It's going to be used for payment. It's going to be used for status signaling, which is a huge driver for payments in social networks. It's going to be used to influence what content gets discovered, what content gets surfaced to the top. It's going to be used for access to new features or to premium features and access to content. And it's going to be used, as we mentioned, to compensate creators. Now we're going to try and show how that looks. And this token, one of the beautiful things about it is that the day of the token distribution, this is a project we've been working on for the past year. We've been working on YouNow for 6 years, but this project has been built over the past year. It's going to launch with a token in it the day of the token distribution event. And that token is going to be used from day one by anyone that participates in that and any other user that joins. So let's talk about where it's going to be used.
Thank you, Jonathan. So Rise is the first app on the Props ecosystem. It is a many-to-many video platform that allows any developer to program any kind of interactive video and social video experience. It comes with a technology that enables unlimited amount of streams in real time and the ability for them to interact according to any logic that is programmed. It comes with an economic framework for money in and out, tokens in and out, that is ready to be used for any kind of use case. And it comes with a built-in community. So, we chose an interactive video platform as the first use case for the Props ecosystem, exactly because microtransactions in the context of video are so lucrative and command such a high ARPU. This is from Mary Meeker's deck just earlier in the year, and you can see the value versus other monetization techniques in the video ecosystem. One of the exciting things here is not just the community of millions that we're porting in here on day one, but perhaps even more so, the content creators, the thousands and tens of thousands of content creators, influencers. Think about YouTubers with 100,000 and sometimes millions of followers who have a stake, a personal stake in the network. No longer are they subject to the rent collectors who don't have the same aligned interests. Here, everybody is working together to appreciate the token, and everybody's interests are aligned. They are incentivized to grow the network because effectively they have a personal stake in the network. We're also launching a consumer-level, easy-to-use wallet that is available both on the Rise platform and for any app or platform on the Props ecosystem. We talked a little bit about developers and use cases, and I want to run you a few example use cases, and then we'll jump into a live demo of the platform. So one example, karaoke. Everybody's live. I'm dragging a friend. I'm dragging a piece of content. This is the logic that I programmed for this room, and I'm performing in front of a live audience. Another example on the left here, watching together. Comcast is one of our investors. Imagine TV programming, YouTube. Now I can drag any of my friends and watch linear content together. On the other side, America's Got Talent. They've been doing auditions on YouNow for the past 3 years. On the one side, the America's Got Talent producer. On the other side, the contestants and the people who are trying out, that they're bringing one after another. Forever, they've been asking us for this additional functionality, these 2 buttons that they want on the screen. Well, now they can, and anybody else who has a use case for interactive video and social video experiences can program that using the API and the open platform. And this extends to any kind of social game, reality show, game show, communication. A friend of mine is the CMO of one of the 2 largest auction houses in the world. They're live streaming. They're looking for ways for people at home to participate in the auctions. Use cases that you never imagined that people will want to do on platforms like this are out there. Effectively, anything that we can do in real life, there is demand to do interactively in the social context on a platform like this. This is a little bit of a quirky story, but I think it's worth it. How many of you know the games, the Mafia Wars? It's a party game. Okay, so a bunch of people. So you need 5 to 10 people to play it. You hand out cards, and this is all the rage now in China. Apparently, 5 of the top 10 gaming apps in China right now are Mafia Wars, which is called Werewolf over there. And you don't always have 5 to 10 people next to you. And you can go home, click a button, now you're in that app, and you're getting together with a group, and you're playing this social party game. Hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue in China. About a month ago, my chairman of the board emailed me and asked me, can we do Mafia Wars on Rise and Props? And I said, yes. And it used to be that you had to go to a VC and raise a couple $1 million and build a team and get the technology, the video technology up and running and build the economic framework to allow for the purchasing and the math around that, and then distribute it and try to get to an audience. Here, through rapid development, you have all of that built in, and you can easily and get to market in a cost-effective way with any kind of an interactive video communication idea. So let's do a quick live demo. I'm just going to jump here. Believe it or not, I'm using 4G, and I have 1 bar. The camera will be my witness. And I think we can see that on the screen right now. And let's see if that is working well. I'm going to go ahead and drag a friend in here. So it's a little slow. Hi, Dan. How's it going? Let me go ahead and reward this friend. Let me drag another friend. There's Sarah. Hi, Sarah. How's it going? Good, good, good. So just to get a feel for how quickly this technology is, even with one bar, I'm going to drag Sarah out, and then I'll go ahead and drag Sarah back in. So everybody's live all the time. If I click on somebody in the audience, I'm clicking on Gretchen, and she is live as well. So just to get a feel for another use case, let me go ahead and drag our CTO in here. That's how a CTO looks like. Let's go ahead and jump into another room. Sarah, why don't we jump into your room, and I'll experience how it is to be in the audience. So everybody go to Sarah's room.
One thing to note is that all the engagement that comes in the form of these likes and these gifts, which is kind of how a digital virtual economy that we're running today works, all of that engagement gets accumulated and eventually distributed in the form of props that are rewarded to the users with that push notifications that we looked at earlier. So imagine a network, a digital media network that works that way.
So right now I'm in another room and I'm in the audience and I'm hanging out with my friend here. We could be watching Sarah, or we could be watching linear programming, YouTube videos, anything. And I can go ahead and drag anybody to join me. I'm going to go ahead and drag Oli as well. Oli is not my friend, so it has to call him, and he will join. I can have a group of any size as we watch together. These are just a couple of use cases. Here, one last thing. Once I'm done, you can see a push notification that I'm getting, as Jonathan showed before, telling me how much I contributed to the growth of the ecosystem right there. I could have invited 10 friends, and 8 of them showed up and registered. We know mathematically the exact value of each user's contribution to the network.
Yeah, and this use case is just the first use case in this ecosystem. We're going to seed this Rise app with the YouNow community, 40 million registered users, thriving virtual economy. Very little change to the user behavior in terms of the economic transactions, but a big change in terms of the capabilities of the platform, its openness, and the ability to cater to multiple use cases, as well as the ability to take the earnings, use them on other apps, and hold on to them for the long term to enjoy the growth of the network. On Rise, we saw how developers can create extensions of the type that Adi showed earlier. We saw how media companies like a Comcast or an MTV can distribute their content here, and a bunch of them are interested in doing that here. But also, developers can build apps outside of Rise. Just create completely new apps, and all the apps in this network, based on the amount of contribution to the network, and we can talk more about how that works another time. It's a good idea to take a look at our white paper that describes exactly how this works algorithmically. These different apps enjoy a stream of rewards that ultimately make their way to the hands of users. And the Props Foundation that holds a bunch of these tokens distributes them on a schedule programmatically. Ultimately, 70% of the tokens are going to be held by the different participants in the network, and that, we believe, creates a fundamentally different type of digital media ecosystem. In fact, YouNow itself, outside of the nonprofit foundation, we're transitioning to a benefit corporation with the mission of creating a more transparent, equitable digital media space and contributing to the growth of the props ecosystem.
Thank you, Jonathan. So just to wrap up, more information on propsproject.com, our white paper, some videos, and we especially welcome developers and content creators. There's information there and forms to fill out if you want to join us on Props. So thank you very much, everyone.